My name is Monica Blair, and I'm sitting on my back deck with one wine glass, a chilled bucket with two bottles of wine that I fully intend to consume before I leave this chair. Because you see, this is without a doubt the worst day of my life. You see, I just came from the funeral of the love of my life. And I'm going to sit out here as long as necessary to try to figure out exactly how I feel about what is going to be a major change. Well, it already is a major change in my life. Because you see, he was my soulmate, and I was his. The people who knew him, the people who know me, are fully aware of that. Because you see, we have been, I guess you could say, having an affair. But I don't like that because we were a couple. You are a couple when you agree to be in a relationship, and that is what we did. Now, why am I adding that little tidbit? Because you see, he was married. And I'm sure there are raised eyebrows and rolling of eyes, but I don't care. I was the love of his life. I repeat that. And he was the love of mine. Do I feel guilty about loving and everything with a married man? No, I don't. I wasn't married to her. He was. He made a decision to step outside of his marriage, and I don't have anything to do with that. And I know you probably, some, especially women, will probably say, well, of course you did. Well, no, I didn't. That's between the two of them. Now, will I someday have to pay for my choice? Well, some will say yes. I really don't know. But today, right now, at this moment, I really don't care. You see, being involved with married men is a part of what my family has always done. The women in my family are very beautiful and available. I can't say that every married man, my mother and my aunts and my grandmother and her sisters and on, were involved with. I don't know if it was love. It could have been money, it could have been convenience, it could have been a sense of power to take someone's husband away from them. And I know somebody's rolling their eyes again, saying, oh, you can't take somebody who doesn't want to go. And I believe that. You can't. But see, in my case, I didn't want to take him. I didn't want to live in a house with him 24/7. I didn't want to have to discuss what are we going to have for dinner, and he might look at me as if I'm supposed to provide that. I didn't want to worry about his dirty clothes. I pay my bills. I work, I pay my bills. Um, that's what he does at his house with his wife. You see, I didn't want all of the complications. I had the best of him. I know that. He spent the majority of his time with me. And I'm reasonably certain that he was not sexually active with his wife. I made sure that all of his sexual appetites were filled. That's when that's one of the reasons that I wondered about his health, because those appetites were not the same. He didn't have the stamina that he's had for over a decade. He was losing weight. I actually still don't know what he died from. Even though I could visit him late at night and I got to know one of the nurses, he wasn't even in the hospital for a long time. And I wasn't privy to private information. You see, that's one of the drawbacks of being the mistress. And no, I do not consider myself a side piece or the outside lady, or all the other, I'm sure, very ugly terms that they can be used. I'll take mistress. That's okay. I'll take that. He had a Mrs. and he had a mistress. And I'm fine with that. I was fine with that. But I must say that today was hard because I am a part of his family. Oh, I know that won't be received well, but his family knows me, and my family knows him. He didn't hide me from his family. I've been to most of their homes. He's been to my family's homes. I know most of his friends. And their families. The only odd duck in that is his sister. She refused to be at any function where I was present. I don't think she's really that close to his wife. He said that she thought it was wrong and she would not in any way participate in that. Well, who cares? I just think she's miserable. I personally think she thought her husband would look at me. And if not, he's looking at somebody. Most of the married men that I know have multiple women on the side. I don't care if they're in the pulpit or in the deacon's corner or wearing the police officer's uniform or the military commander's uniform or in the classroom, or just the neighbor next door. There's just something titillating about having someone on the outside. And as I said, I'm different from my family because I own my own business, my own home. I take care of myself. I do not want to be dependent on anyone. I've never wanted to get married. I've never wanted to have children. So, William Xavier Marshall II was perfect for me, and I was perfect for him. Our expectations of each other, well, they worked for us. I had to sit on the opposite side of the church today from the family. Of course, his wife was on the front pew with his mother and his daughters and his horrible sister, a couple of brothers, I think. His wife did not shed a tear. And I can't imagine why, because he took very good care of her. He was a very good provider. She worked because she wanted to, not because she had to. Now, me, if I'm going to eat, I have to work. I'm okay with that, but it's amazing to me that women who don't have to work, they don't appreciate that. Well, I don't know her, so I don't know if she appreciated it or what. I'm fairly certain that Xavier was never faithful in the marriage. I just can't imagine him being capable. He told me that before his father died and when he was growing up, he met several of his father's women. So, like me, it was just a part of his life. A lot of people are in denial because they don't want to believe how normal infidelity is. Well, I'm here to tell you that it is. It is. Now, see, Xavier had a respected position in the community. Well, so do I. But I can guarantee you, has never been judged as harshly as I have. You see, men are given a lot of free passes, and women are not. See, I'm a hoe, okay, and he's just being a man. And if I wasn't available, then he wouldn't just be a man. Oh yeah, right. Yeah. I asked him once if he was seeing other women at the same time that he's been seeing me. Oh, he laughed it off and said no. I have checked up on him. Why? Because he was probably lying. But if I can share him with his very boring, unfashionable, overweight wife, I can share him with someone else as long as he's careful. And although I'm gonna have to work on that. He was my soulmate. I can't say that I haven't been involved with other people over the last 10 years because I have. I like my freedom. My freedom did not mean that I didn't love him. And see, I think, now I started this off by saying that we were each other's soulmates and we loved each other. And I do believe that. It's not just the wine talking. But I can say that while I don't believe that his wife was his soulmate, I think she's just too goody two shoes for that. But that doesn't mean that he didn't love her. I mean, she is the mother of his children, so he couldn't be faithful, but I know that he loved his children. And as I said, I believe he loved her. I don't know if they had an understanding. I've never heard anything about her stepping out. And trust me, I have checked into that as well. I just want to know about the competition. And although I feel very good about myself, I guess she was always competition. Yeah. Although, as I said earlier, he spent most of his time with me. I don't know what he told her. I didn't care. 2 days ago, I went to his mother's house and we cried together and we consoled each other and we talked about what a wonderful person Xavier was. Xavier was her youngest son, and he was very much spoiled. And then today at the funeral, she didn't even look at me. I was going toward her to hug her, but she purposely did not acknowledge me. Now, her crazy daughter could have been pulling her away. I don't know. Because she was on one side and one of her other sons was on the other. I don't know. I'll find out because in a couple of days I'll go over and see how she's doing. And his friends and his other siblings, they gave me a glance. His friends' wives had this look of surprise that I was there. I don't care. I don't care. What I should have done, I should have gone up to the front and just took me a seat with the family. That is what I should have done. But I didn't. I didn't. But it's not fair. It's not fair because probably the only people in that group who did not know who I was and who I was to him was his children. And trying to pretend that I don't exist or I did not exist doesn't work. It just doesn't work. My girlfriend and I used to pass by his home. I've seen his wife out there a couple of times. Of course, you know I know who she is. I made a point to know that. He bought her a new car last year. Nice ride. Very nice ride. So nice that I went out and bought myself one just like it. When he saw it, he gave me a funny look. I didn't care. I buy what I want to buy. Let me remind you that I can buy my own car. I can buy what I want to buy. She has the same car, yeah, but you had to buy it for her. So I didn't want him to forget that. Does it matter or did it matter? Well, it mattered to me. Now you're probably saying, that's probably petty. I don't care. I don't care. It made me feel good. Of course, now I might have to replace it. I might have to do a lot of things over the next few months because my life has changed. I closed my office for bereavement for myself, which I suppose that's a good thing because had I worked for someone else, I don't think they would have given me bereavement days for my lover. That's not fair. It's not fair. You know, yesterday I almost called his wife and told her that he loved me and didn't love her. Of course, that was the 2 bottles of wine that I had yesterday. Now, that doesn't mean that I still won't do it. Knowing me, I probably will. I don't think she'll care because I don't think she cared that he had a woman on the side. No, I don't like the side chick thing, right? So I don't think he cared that he had a mistress. I know. They were married 25 plus years, and I fully understand that I am certainly not his first mistress, but I do firmly believe that I was his last. Not because he passed away, but because he finally found what he needed. And usually, that's what infidelity is about. It's not always about the sexual thing. Well, not for me. Some of my aunts, probably. But it's usually more than that. I was his safe place. I didn't make waves. I had no requests. I had no demands. I had no expectations. So, I don't even know if it's possible for a wife to be everything she needs to be for her husband. I don't know. I think I saw enough cheating men. That's probably why I never wanted to get married. I just don't like children that much, so that wasn't a hard decision to make. But I think it's very hypocritical for people to know the truth about a person's life and they just try to pretend that it never happened or it's just not the way it is. Especially when everybody knows that that is the way it is. But life is simply not always fair, is it?